Hello everyone, CannonChat here with July's CannonChat. So, with the background footage of Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet here, that is what I'm going to be playing while discussing a few things. So, first things first, I did, of course, do a video of the next game in the Sword Art Online series, being Alicization Licorice, doing a whole entire video on it, and I'll talk about a little bit more of my thoughts on that a little bit later. But I wanted to put on a few updates first. With I finally managed to finish the Resident Evil 1 Remake game, so I can move forward with that. So I wanted to say that because I have finished that now, and that has been kind of what I've been focusing on throughout this whole time, I can finally move on to other projects. So, of course, Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet was something that I was going to finish relatively soon, hopefully. Except this is on my second profile, so this isn't like an extra part of that being in this. But I was gonna use the Alicization Licorice in order to have background footage, but then I figured that I would be right next to a bunch of story segments, and I didn't want it to be kind of bogged down by me paying more attention to that than this. And I haven't played this game for quite a while, so refreshing myself of that I thought was a decent idea. So, some ideas that I have for future projects. I, of course, again, always have my ideas on what I'm going to be running on my About page of my YouTube channel. So if you are interested in what I'm thinking of doing, that is where you find out what ideas that I have and put any feedback you want into that. So I was kind of thinking that maybe I would do a shorter game, and one of them being Portal. Portal 1 is relatively a short game, actually. I think I have beaten it in 3 hours before, so it's definitely something that I would look at of doing something that isn't super intensive. Oh, okay, 720,000 experience. So putting on all of the experience modifiers actually works in this game. So another one would be Half-Life 2 Episode 1. And Half-Life 2 Episode 1 is like 5-ish hours, I do believe. And then going on from there. Those were kind of like my main ones that I was thinking of doing while I mix and match with Fatal Bullet, of course. But before I did Resident Evil 1 Remake, I did a lot of switching between projects. Like I would do a few episodes of one and then switch to the other, just kind of mixing it up and having a little bit more variety at any given time. Which I believe worked decently enough for what I was trying to accomplish there. So. And for Resident Evil 1 Remake, that is definitely a game that I think went on for way too long. It took me like 7 months to finish, roughly, and it really shouldn't have taken me that long to finish. There was just a lot of things in the game that that irritated me, and it just didn't want me to go back to playing the game again, so that kind of delayed things. Oh, it didn't respawn? Okay then. And again, I was going to do a review of that hopefully sooner than some of my other reviews have gotten. I have done reviews like multiple months after I finish the game, and then it's just kind of like, well, that's not what I intended to do. But yeah, we'll definitely see on that. Why is that not respawning? That's interesting. Okay, maybe I need to go all the way over here for that. It's kind of dumb, but there we go. So I'm just gaining some experiences in this game, leveling up my second profile, but on my main profile I have to finish the Abyssal Dungeon without commentary, as well as any other additional things, like the super hard missions. I haven't even attempted. So I mean, that definitely, that will take at least a little bit of time, and then after all that, in either October or January, I'm going to do a playthrough of Alien Isolation. And that is definitely going to be interesting, because not only are people saying that it is a terrifying game, but it also is like 20 to 30 hours worth of gameplay, and it's like, well, that kind of that doesn't really boost my confidence, because I didn't really want to play a game that is that long before doing anything else. So I'm probably going to end up doing is mixing it up with that going on, like maybe while focusing on Alien Isolation, doing the other games that I've been doing at the time, mixing it up instead of it just being that game until I finish it. Because again, Resident Evil took like 7 months, and it was over 15 hours of playtime. So if it's going to be even longer than that, I just don't really see that working out well for me. Especially if there is anything in the game that makes me not want to jump right into it again. Like Resident Evil 1 Remake did. Like, if it had any, if I get really scared of the gameplay, or if there are mechanics that I just don't like, or something like that, that is just a bad idea to continuously play that game and nothing else, I think. So, I think that was the main things that I was going to talk about, I want to say. This is a bit of a shorter one because I don't really have like a specific topic that I had planned for this one. It was mostly just, you know, updates of me since I had finished Resident Evil 1 Remake and some ideas of what is going to happen next. I'm still not sure. I'm probably not going to do daily uploads again as of right now, because I kind of just really need to get into the swing of things that were before, because since I've been doing Resident Evil 1 for so long, it's definitely... I don't even... It's hard to kind of remember what it even felt like to do my normal schedule, so if that makes any sense. And I'm not picking up any of these items because I have like no inventory space on this character, and I just don't want to deal with sorting through my inventory. Another thing that that I could do is that during the Steam sale, I did get Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, of all things, at a reasonably cheap price, and I don't know if I would ever do like a full Let's Play of the story of Oblivion, but doing at least 1 or 2 videos of that game sounds like a really good idea. So some comedy comedic moments in that game and everything, because Oblivion has a lot of things. Like, it was really good for when it was first made, but when you look back at it now, it is just really hilarious. Like the NPC dialogue as well as some other things. It's just really ridiculous, and I think that would be fun to do a playthrough. Well, at least do a few videos on it. If I did do a full playthrough of Oblivion, it would pretty much be focusing on the story, I think, of the game and the DLCs. I'm not sure if I would like do any of the major side quests or not, because then that would probably take forever, and I just don't want to deal with that. But yeah, like that's pretty much everything. So Portal 1 or Half-Life 2 Episode 1 to go with Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet until I finish this. Those are just my ideas on what to do next. And I was gonna do each of the CannonChat videos at the beginning of each month, and for this month I deliberately kind of delayed them because of the Alicization Licorice game. I was thinking about just putting my initial thoughts like in one of these CannonChat videos, but then decided to make an entirely new video on it instead, which ended up being 30 minutes. So that was definitely something. So my thoughts on not Fatal Bullet, Alicization Licorice is, well, for a quick summary, is that I really like the ideas that the game has, and it is very similar to Hollow Realization. It is pretty much an improved Hollow Realization from 2016, I do believe, for the PS4 version, something like that. And it has some really neat ideas. for the combat and everything. It's just that it's really bogged down by technical problems. It doesn't really have a stable frame rate when there's a lot of things on screen, and there are some just really odd design choices that make it so that the game just isn't as good as it should be. Definitely if it had more polish to it, that would help, but there's definitely some things like only being able to tell your party members what to do you have to do that manually every single time instead of just setting them to being like focusing on one role, and it's just really weird why they did that and kind of irritating at the same time. But at the same time, the idea of controlling an entire party at all times is very interesting and ambitious, and I think for the most part they did a decent job on it. But the technical issues, as well as needing to do all 4 party members instead of just 2 is, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. So with that, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover. So if you wanted to see like more in depth of what my thoughts on for Resident Evil 1, watching the last part of that, or just watching the entire playthrough, see more of my thoughts on that, as well as the dedicated Alicization Licorice video. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting back to a resemblance of normalcy, because I don't know, staying on one project for so long, it just really drains me, and since because of my medical situation, like this, is doing YouTube is pretty much my main source of distraction from basically not doing anything of productivity at all. And I've briefly mentioned it in my reflection on 2019 video that pretty much doing nothing but gaming all the time, it just isn't healthy at all. Yet when you have too much of entertainment without anything else, it pretty much makes it so that you no longer enjoy entertainment anymore, because that's all you're doing. You get used to it and potentially flat out bored of it and everything. And it just, it's been really it's kind of hard to describe that feeling. Well, especially while I'm concentrating on the game as well. Let's see how much experience I've gotten. Is that 13 million? Yeah, 13 million. Oh, that's not bad. In Fatal Bullet, definitely leveling up when you get to like the hundreds, and you try to level up to being well into the 200s, it just takes a really long time. So that's kinda why I decided to do this in the background, as well as refreshing my memory. So that's pretty much everything, unless I can think of anything else. So So just one last thing for Alien Isolation, like I said, for that I might play it in October or January, but honestly I'm kind of leaning towards January at this point, and maybe I'll just do horror games from now on being a January thing. I know that's kind of counterintuitive with Halloween being the horror month and everything, but just for this year, well, I mean for this next special especially, I just can't focus. I can't get into it that soon after such a long project. So I think I can return back to town here to see how many levels I got out of that. And then we get another item anyway, so I got 5 levels. That's not too bad. So yeah, if you have literally all of your party members have something with experience gain, it's not awful, but at the same time, if you don't have that, then it kind of is. So let's put... Can I put... 204. So yeah, I think that's everything. So if you have any thoughts on doing either one of the other, Portal 1 or Half-Life 2 Episode 1, leave your ideas in the comments. And then when it comes to Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, I'm going to be doing that either Portal 1 or Half-Life 2 Episode 1 on the side of that. So I'm going to be doing multiple projects kind of at once and mixing and matching on that. That's what I did before, and it seemed to work decently well, so I'm not burnt out on one game, especially if it was taking a long time like Fatal Bullet has. I mean, even if you take away the Resident Evil 1's time, I had been playing it for a year and a half, and I still haven't finished everything I wanted to in the game itself. I mean, that's, of course, including all of the DLC expansions to this game, but at the same time, that still was kind of a bit much. Oh, I did not mean to put... I didn't mean to put that in there. So I think that's pretty much everything. So just kind of a casual Canon Chat, nothing too big. I did spend a good amount of time with family for 4th of July, so that's why I didn't have any activity that week, which I did put in the description of whatever Resident Evil 1 video I did after coming back, but that's what I was doing. So that's I think where I'm gonna call it for now, unless I want to ramble on for nonsensibly for the next 30 minutes. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.